WASP-12b is a true cosmic wonder that keeps scientists on edge. It is so close to its star that its atmosphere is literally evaporating into open space. Imagine a surface temperature of a staggering 800 degrees Celsius, making it one of the hottest known exoplanets. But that's not all. Due to the powerful gravity of its star, the planet has taken on a peculiar egg-like shape, which astounds astronomers. What's even more remarkable? This planet orbits its star in just one day, much faster than any other object in our solar system. But how is this possible? The answer lies in the gravitational forces acting on it, stretching it from all sides. This effect, known as gravitational interaction, causes WASP-12b to lose its atmosphere at an incredible rate. Around 330 million tons of gas escape each year. This amount is comparable to the weight of 330 large elephants. Now, imagine what happens to its atmosphere. It is mostly composed of hydrogen and helium, but under the influence of high temperature and stellar radiation, it transforms into ions that simply drift away into space. This creates a breathtaking sight. The planet isn't just losing its atmosphere, it's literally hovering in space. Scientists estimate that in a few billion years, WASP-12b will be gone, and this star will become just one of many examples of planetary evolution. This exoplanet is located about 700 light-years from Earth, making it sufficiently distant, but also opening doors to new technologies and understanding how such worlds can exist. It's important to note that WASP-12b is not the only planet in such close proximity to its star, but its unique shape and extreme conditions make it a focal point for astronomers worldwide. And of course, the mysteries surrounding its atmosphere and gravitational interaction continue to amaze and inspire researchers. Did you know that such exoplanets can help scientists understand how planets form and evolve in other star systems? At the center of galaxy M87 lies a supermassive black hole with a mass that exceeds the mass of the Sun by 6.5 billion times. Imagine an object so massive that it warps space and time around it. On April 18, 2019, the world first saw an image of this black hole, created by the Event Horizon Telescope project, which combines data from 8 radio telescopes around the globe to form a virtual telescope the size of Earth. This image was a breakthrough in astronomy. It shows a bright ring of light formed by matter orbiting the black hole and emitting energy and heat. But wait, there's more. The image was obtained from observations conducted over more than 2 years, and data processing took almost another year. Interestingly, black holes are usually invisible, but their presence can be detected by their influence on surrounding matter. In the case of M87, astronomers observed stars moving at incredible speeds, indicating the presence of a powerful gravitational field. This discovery also confirmed predictions of Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity. What's even more astonishing? It turns out that M87 is not just a black hole, it is also an active galactic nucleus ejecting streams of matter over millions of light-years. These streams, composed of high-energy particles, accelerate to nearly the speed of light and generate powerful radio signals that we can detect. Inside this black hole, a completely different world exists, where the physical laws we know no longer apply. And here's the craziest part. Around the black hole M87, there is a cloud of gas so hot that its temperature reaches millions of degrees Celsius, creating conditions that we can only dream of. In the vast expanse of space, planets have been discovered that could even shock the most seasoned astronomers. Imagine worlds where the core is mainly composed of diamonds. A striking example is planet 55 Cancri E, located approximately 42 light-years from Earth. And here's the most fascinating part. Scientists suggest that its surface may be covered in carbon and silicates, and under the immense pressure characteristic of its interior, carbon has transformed into diamonds. Do you know how much diamond could be contained in such a core? According to the most optimistic estimates, it could be up to 333 billion tons. This quantity sounds like science fiction, but scientists are so confident in their findings that they are already discussing the possibility of mining. But that's not all. 55 Cancri E has a surface temperature of around 2,000 degrees Celsius, making it one of the hottest planets ever discovered. In such conditions, diamonds become more than just a decoration. They are part of a harsh reality where life, perhaps, has no chance. Do you think life could exist in such extreme conditions? Remarkably, scientists are not ruling out this possibility. Now, imagine that the atmosphere of this planet contains carbon monoxide and water vapor, creating unique conditions for studying chemistry and physics. This opens doors to a new understanding of planet formation and life on them. But what is even more astonishing, scientists are just beginning to understand how many different types of planets exist in our galaxy. Each new discovery, like 55 Cancri E, adds new details to our picture of the universe. And perhaps the most intriguing thing is that there are many other diamond planets that we have yet to discover. What do you think they might be hiding? Returning astronauts from spacewalks often share astonishing accounts of the space smell. Imagine a mix of hot metal, welding, and even grilled meat. This is how they describe this unique aroma. But where does this smell come from? It turns out, it's not just a figment of imagination. Microscopic particles left on spacesuits react with oxygen upon re-entry into the atmosphere. These particles, formed due to interaction with cosmic radiation and particles, evaporate when astronauts return to the ISS, creating this distinctive smell. And here's the most fascinating part. The smell varies depending on the location of the spacewalk. For instance, near Earth, the aroma may be more metallic, while farther away, it might resemble the smell of burnt rubber. NASA astronauts like David Scott and Edward White have noted that the smell explodes in their noses when they re-enter the module. But that's not all. One of the most intriguing aspects of the space smell is that it doesn't linger on the spacesuits. Astronauts can still smell it in their socks. Why is this? The molecules left on the spacesuits are active enough to adhere to clothing, creating a cosmic aroma that can persist on many items they come into contact with. Scientists have even suggested that this smell might be linked to chemical reactions caused by high levels of radiation in open space. But let's not forget the role of our brain. It interprets these aromas based on our experiences and associations. Some astronauts say the smell reminds them of childhood memories related to scientific experiments or even barbecues. Scientific research in this area continues, and NASA scientists are now studying how this aroma can affect the psychological state of astronauts. In the next study, they plan to use special devices to capture and analyze the smell left on spacesuits and understand how it can influence mood and emotional state. Now imagine if this smell could become a marker for studying space. What other mysteries might open space hold? On Venus, a day is longer than a year, which sounds like science fiction, but it's a fact. The planet rotates on its axis in 243 Earth days, while a full orbit around the Sun takes only 225 days. Imagine that. Almost 8 months to complete one day. But that's not all. Venus rotates in the opposite direction compared to other planets in our solar system, making it unique. The Sun rises in the west and sets in the east on Venus, which astonishes astronomers. Now imagine how slow and smooth this process is. Venus rotates almost 6 times slower than Earth, creating conditions where one day lasts longer than a whole year. Venus rotates so slowly around its axis that even the wind on this planet, reaching speeds up to 140 kilometers per hour, seems to hold its breath. And that's where it gets really crazy. Venus's atmosphere is composed of 97% carbon dioxide, creating a greenhouse effect and reaching temperatures of thousands of degrees Celsius on the surface. This makes it the hottest planet in the solar system, even hotter than Mercury, which is closer to the Sun. If you thought that was shocking, consider this. The pressure on Venus's surface is 90 times higher than on Earth, comparable to the pressure experienced by deep-sea fish at a depth of 3,000 meters. Now imagine what that feels like, such pressure that it would crush any unprotected apparatus sent there. But that's not all. The clouds in Venus's atmosphere contain sulfuric acid, making them extremely aggressive. Investigating this planet, as you can understand, is no easy task. Do you know what's even more shocking? Scientists suggest that in the past, Venus could have had oceans of water, making its history even more mysterious. How could this planet, once similar to Earth, turn into a hellish desert? The answers to these questions are hidden in the clouds and under the thick layer of atmosphere that conceals the secrets of its past, which we still cannot decipher. At the center of our galaxy, within the Sagittarius B2 cloud, lies something extraordinary. It contains more than 200 billion liters of ethanol. This amount is sufficient to supply Earth with alcoholic beverages for many years. Imagine a cloud stretching 30 light-years long, where ethanol molecules form dense clusters among the stars. But that's not all. Astronomers estimate that the cloud contains around 200 million ethanol molecules per cubic centimeter. Do you know what that means? It's almost like being in a giant cocktail, where each drop could be the start of a new cosmic world. But why is ethanol found here? Scientists suggest that it formed as a result of complex chemical reactions during stellar explosions, creating conditions for its formation. And here's another shocking fact. Methanol molecules have also been discovered in Sagittarius B2, adding more mysteries to this cosmic cloud. How is this possible? Laboratory experiments show that alcohol can form even in the most extreme conditions, where temperatures drop to -260 degrees Celsius. But what if these molecules ever reach a planet with suitable conditions? This could open doors to entirely new forms of life that we haven't even considered. Currently, astronomers use radio telescopes to study this cloud, hoping to unravel its secrets. Could there be planets in this cloud that could harbor life based on alcohol? This is a question that still requires an answer. And if you think that the Sagittarius B2 cloud is the only place like this in the universe, you're in for a surprise. Astronomers have already found dozens of other similar clouds filled with alcohol and other organic compounds, challenging our understanding of how life could develop on other planets. How many more such mysterious places does the cosmos hold? On the Moon, you can still see the tracks of astronauts who carried out the historic Apollo missions. These imprints, left in the lunar soil, will remain unchanged for millions of years. Imagine looking at tracks that are over 50 years old and they are still clearly visible, as if they were just made. The reason is that there is no atmosphere on the Moon, so there is no wind, rain, or other natural processes that could destroy these tracks. This means that even the smallest details, such as the footprints of astronauts, will last much longer than on Earth. Furthermore, the temperature on the Moon varies from -150 to +110 degrees Celsius, which also does not contribute to erosion. Did you know that each Apollo astronaut left around 7,000 kilograms of equipment and samples on the Moon? These items not only testify to the most significant moments in human history, but also serve as a kind of time capsule. Now imagine that the samples collected during the missions are still on the Moon, waiting for humanity to return. 8 Apollo missions, starting with Apollo 11, brought unique lunar soil samples to Earth, and their study continues to this day. Lunar regolith collected by astronauts can tell us about the geological history of the Moon and how it formed. And here is where it gets really interesting. These samples may contain evidence of water on the Moon, which shocks many scientists. Do you think astronauts could have encountered something that we still don't know about? Did you know that there are places on the Moon called lunar seas, which are ancient lava fields? These formations can tell us about the volcanic activity on the Moon that occurred billions of years ago. And what is truly amazing is that due to the absence of atmosphere and other factors, these lunar seas can preserve their characteristics for billions of years. In the past few years, new missions like Luna 25 have opened new horizons for exploration, promising us even more amazing discoveries. It's important to remember that every mission, every piece of information collected on the Moon, can change our understanding of our place in the cosmos. But here's the most incredible thing. There are already lunar bases on the Moon being developed for future missions, and they could become a launch pad for the colonization of other planets. The temperature in space can be remarkably low. In certain regions, it drops to -273 and a 15th degrees Celsius. This is not just a theory. The Boomerang Nebula, located approximately 14,000 light-years from Earth, is a striking example. Here, the temperature is simply astonishing. It is around -276 degrees Celsius, making this the coldest known object in the universe. But how is this possible? In the Boomerang Nebula, which resulted from a star explosion, gas molecules are so sparsely distributed that they lose their heat, creating conditions close to absolute zero. However, this is not just cold. It is an entire world where physics behaves differently. Do you know what happens to matter at such temperatures? Its properties change dramatically. Atoms barely move, and molecules can bond, forming new states of matter. And here is where it gets truly bizarre. In such conditions, quantum effects can occur that we can't even imagine in our everyday lives. In the Boomerang Nebula, carbon molecules accumulate, forming complex compounds that could serve as the basis for life. But that's not the strangest part. In these extreme temperatures, even light starts to behave differently. It can refract and bend, creating extraordinary optical effects that are hard to explain. If you thought that was all, think again. There are even areas in the nebula where gas moves at speeds exceeding 100,000 kilometers per hour. This means that molecules colliding with each other can create conditions that cannot be reproduced anywhere on Earth. And the most amazing thing? These conditions can persist for millions of years, forming a unique ecosystem in the cold vacuum of space. Cosmic strings, hypothetical one-dimensional defects in the fabric of space-time, may hold the key to unraveling many mysteries of the universe. These strings could have formed in the first moments after the Big Bang, when temperatures reached unimaginable values, exceeding 1 trillion degrees Celsius. Imagine, at that time, space and time were so densely packed that even the most fundamental particles couldn't exist in their familiar forms. Under such extreme pressure and temperature, strings could have emerged, with lengths measuring tens of billions of trillions of meters, but with thicknesses comparable to the size of an atom. And that's where things get really interesting. Cosmic strings can have enormous gravitational fields that can warp the space around them. This means they can create something like traps for matter and light, similar to black holes, but with entirely different properties. How might these strings influence the structure of our universe? There are theories suggesting that they could play a role in the formation of galaxies and even the visible matter we observe. Scientists like Edward Witten propose that cosmic strings might be connected to supersymmetry theory, which, in turn, explains why the mass of some particles, such as Higgs bosons, differs from the mass of others. One of the most startling hypotheses is that cosmic strings could be encoded in the structure of the universe, like some cosmic code that we haven't yet deciphered. What's even more astonishing? If cosmic strings do exist, they could be detected in high-energy experiments like those conducted at the Large Hadron Collider. Scientists hope that particle collisions with energies in the tens of TeV could create conditions that tear space-time apart, making the strings visible. Just imagine the horizons that could open up if we could confirm their existence. Each such discovery could change our understanding of the laws of physics, as the discovery of the Higgs boson did in 2012. But here's the paradox. Even if we find cosmic strings, studying them could be incredibly challenging. They might be so fragile that observing them would require technologies that haven't been invented yet. We stand on the threshold of a discovery that could revolutionize our understanding of the structure of the universe. Did you know that in some models, cosmic strings can cause fluctuations in the cosmic background that we can detect? These fluctuations could be remnants of strings that were formed. It's fascinating to think about how many more mysteries are hidden in the depths of space-time, waiting for someone to finally uncover them. Magnetars are not just ordinary neutron stars, but true cosmic monsters with magnetic fields that are trillions of times stronger than Earth's magnetic field. Imagine this. A magnetar's magnetic field can reach 32 million Tesla, while Earth's magnetic field is only around 0.5 of a Gauss. This means that magnetars can create conditions that are hard to imagine. Their magnetic field is strong enough to tear atoms apart if someone were nearby. But what's even more astonishing? These stars rotate at incredible speeds, sometimes up to 7 times per second, creating an effect known as magnetic radiation. This radiation can be so intense that it can cause bursts of X-ray radiation that we can detect on Earth, even from millions of light-years away. But how do these mysterious objects form? Magnetars are the result of the collapse of massive stars that, after a supernova explosion, leave behind neutron stars with abnormally strong magnetic fields. These fields arise from the rotation of the star and its extremely high density, leading to complex magnetic effects. Now imagine standing on the surface of a magnetar and feeling the force of its magnetic field, which could literally accelerate you several times faster than on Earth. This means that everything, including the molecules of your body, would be subjected to an incredible force. Even simple objects like coins or metallic items would instantly be drawn to the magnetar's surface, as if caught in a trap. And what's even more mind-boggling? Some magnetars can emit powerful bursts of energy that can cause changes in atomic structures at distances up to 30,000 light-years away, and this is no longer just science fiction. Bursts, known as magnetic storms, can be so strong that they can be registered on Earth using modern telescopes and satellites. Scientists still don't fully understand all the mysteries of these stars, but one thing is certain: magnetars continue to amaze us with their anomalous properties and the enigmas they hold. On Titan, Saturn's moon, there are methane lakes that resemble Earth's early water bodies in composition. These lakes, the size of entire seas, cover about 15% of the moon's surface and can be up to 100 meters deep. Imagine this: liquid methane and ethane flowing across its landscape, creating rivers and lakes. But that's not even the most fascinating part. Titan's atmosphere is 80% nitrogen, making it the densest among all the moons in the solar system. The pressure on Titan's surface is 1.5 times higher than on Earth, creating unique conditions for study. But here's what's even more shocking. The temperature on Titan fluctuates around -150 degrees Celsius, making it one of the coldest places in the solar system. Yet, despite this cold, scientists suggest that under the icy crust of the moon, there could be an ocean of liquid water, potentially creating conditions for life. How could such conditions arise? Perhaps there is heat generated by radioactive decay beneath the icy shell. It's important to note that Titan is the only place in the solar system, besides Earth, where stable liquids exist on the surface. Research conducted by the Cassini-Huygens mission showed that these methane lakes may have their own cycle, similar to Earth's water cycle, where methane evaporates, forms clouds, and then falls back as precipitation. This opens up fantastic prospects for the search for life, as if there are methane ecosystems on Titan. They could be similar to those we see on Earth. But wait, there's more. Scientists have also discovered organic molecules that could serve as building blocks for life. These molecules form as a result of complex chemical reactions in Titan's atmosphere, where ultraviolet sunlight penetrates the thick clouds and triggers photochemical processes. And here's the most mind-boggling part. Some of these organic compounds have already been found on Earth, raising enormous interest in how life might develop in such exotic conditions. Titan is becoming a real laboratory for astrobiologists, trying to understand how life can exist in the most unexpected places. And what if we do find life on Titan? This would change our understanding of where and how life can arise in the cosmos. Imagine this. Our galaxy could contain up to 40 billion planets that are within the habitable zone of their stars. This means that on these planets, conditions could be suitable for the existence of life as we know it. But here's what's really fascinating. Astronomers use methods like the transit method, which allows them to identify planets passing in front of their stars and dimming their brightness. For instance, in just the last few years, thousands of exoplanets have been discovered, and some of them are similar in size and composition to Earth. But how do astronomers determine if these planets are suitable for life? They study the temperature, atmosphere, and even the presence of water on the surface. A striking example is the planet Kepler 186f, which is located about 140 light-years away from us and has sizes similar to Earth. If you thought that was all, it gets even more intriguing. Scientists estimate that around 30% of stars similar to our Sun could have planets in the habitable zone. This opens up incredible prospects for the search for extraterrestrial life. But here's what's even more astonishing. Studies suggest that on some planets, such as Proxima Centauri b, conditions could exist for liquid water. Water is a key element for life, and its presence on other planets makes them even more attractive for research. Moreover, according to the latest estimates, there could be more than 12 billion planets in our galaxy that are even older than Earth, which opens doors to understanding how life could evolve in various conditions. This means that there could be numerous forms of life in the cosmos that we can't even imagine. The universe is full of mysteries, and astronomers are just beginning to unravel them. And surprisingly, we have only a few ideas about what life might look like on other planets, but no one knows exactly how it will develop in such different conditions, such as on planets orbiting other stars. Among the myriad objects populating our galaxy, there exist remarkable brown dwarfs, objects that serve as intermediate links between stars and planets. These enigmatic bodies form as a result of the collapse of gases and dust. But here's the catch. The mass of a brown dwarf is insufficient to initiate thermonuclear reactions that convert hydrogen into helium, as occurs in stars. To put it simply, the mass of a brown dwarf must be less than 70 Jupiter masses, making them too lightweight to become full-fledged stars. Yet there is a certain charm to this. They radiate heat from the collapse, not from thermonuclear reactions, creating a unique atmosphere where temperatures can reach several thousand degrees Kelvin. Now imagine that some of these objects could be billions of years old. How is this possible? It happens because brown dwarfs can maintain their heat for extended periods, making them old-timers among astronomical objects. Did you know that the first brown dwarf was discovered in 2001 and named Tidy 1, with a mass roughly equal to 7/10 that of Jupiter? Remarkably, these properties make brown dwarfs resemble stars, but they cannot shine like stars and instead emit light in the infrared range. This opens new horizons for astronomers, as studying brown dwarfs allows us to investigate the conditions under which planets form. Incidentally, there may be more brown dwarfs than ordinary stars. According to some estimates, there could be up to 2 brown dwarfs for every star in the galaxy. What does this mean for the search for extraterrestrial life? This question opens up vast prospects for future research. Additionally, brown dwarfs can serve as valuable objects for studying how stars and planets form and how our galaxy evolves. But that's not all. Some scientists believe that brown dwarfs may have atmospheres containing liquid water, raising questions about the possibility of life even in such extreme conditions. Let's imagine this world: clouds where the temperature is just below 30 degrees and the atmosphere filled with water vapor. Could there be simple forms of life in such places? This question remains open, and each new brown dwarf we discover adds new details to this mysterious picture. And what if some of them are close enough for us to study with new technologies? In this magnificent cosmic theater, there are still many unsolved mysteries, and each brown dwarf opens new chapters in the book of our universe. On Pluto, an extraordinary region known as the Heart has been discovered. This bright formation, resembling a heart, is primarily composed of frozen nitrogen. Imagine an ice plain covering approximately 1 million square kilometers, equivalent in size to the state of Texas in the USA. Officially named Sputnik Planum, this area was first observed during the flyby of the New Horizons spacecraft in 2015, and its brightness astonished scientists. It reflects 80% of the sunlight, making it one of the brightest surfaces in the solar system. And that's not all. The heart also contains methane and carbon dioxide, which create a unique color palette and geological activity reminiscent of processes on Earth. But how is this possible on such a distant object from the sun? Water ice in the subsurface layer may serve as a source of heat, sustaining this activity. Now imagine that beneath this icy crust lies an ocean of liquid water, potentially 30 kilometers deep. Research indicates that such conditions could be favorable for the existence of simple life forms. But did you know that the heart on Pluto is not the only such formation in our solar system? Jupiter's moon Europa also shows signs of a subsurface ocean, which could open up entirely new horizons for astrobiology. And what is truly astonishing, according to some estimates, the temperature beneath Pluto's surface may reach -30 degrees Celsius, combined with atmospheric conditions that could create remarkable icy landscapes. The discovery of the heart on Pluto makes us wonder what other mysteries this dwarf planet hides and what else we may learn about it in the future. On Enceladus, a moon of Saturn, real water geysers are occurring. Geysers are ejecting water to heights of up to 500 kilometers. Imagine streams of water, composed of a mixture of liquid and crystals, bursting through the icy crust, creating a mesmerizing sight. These geysers are located in an area known as the South Pole of Enceladus, where temperatures reach -150 degrees Celsius. But the most intriguing part, beneath the icy crust, lies an ocean. Approximately 30 kilometers thick, this subsurface ocean contains more water than all the oceans on Earth combined. Scientists believe that this subsurface sea could harbor conditions suitable for life. Did you know that the geysers contain organic molecules? This discovery makes us rethink that life could exist not only on Earth, but also on other celestial bodies. Furthermore, the geysers of Enceladus are being actively studied by spacecraft such as Cassini, which recorded real-time eruptions in the year 2000. And here's what's truly astonishing. In these streams, scientists found not just water, but also salts, carbohydrates, and even amino acid molecules, which are the building blocks of life. If you thought this was science fiction, consider this. The geysers can eject up to 200 tons of water per second. Yes, you heard it right. It's like a waterfall falling into space. Research continues, and each new mission brings more fascinating discoveries. But here's something else. The subsurface ocean of Enceladus may have active chemical processes that could support life. The question is, how exactly does this happen? Scientists are still searching for answers. In the constellation of Aquarius, there is something astonishing hidden, a gigantic water cloud that contains 143 trillion times more water than all the oceans of Earth combined. This cloud was discovered by astronomers using radio telescopes and is a molecular cloud of water vapor located approximately 12 billion light-years away from us. To grasp the scale, this amount of water could fill the oceans of our planet more than 2 billion times. But that's not all. The water cloud known as APM 08279+5255 also contains incredible reserves of water vapor, which, it is believed, formed as a result of processes occurring in the early universe. This cloud contains not only water, but also elements such as carbon and oxygen, which play a crucial role in the formation of stars and planets. Did you know that new stars are formed precisely in such clouds? This happens when gas and dust begin to coalesce, forming dense cores that then collapse under the influence of their own gravity. And here's where it gets really interesting. Imagine that this cloud could contain conditions suitable for the emergence of life. Astronomers are already studying how water vapor and other molecules can influence the formation of planets in such exotic conditions. But this is not the only mystery associated with the constellation of Aquarius. Research shows that this region of space may not only contain water, but also potential opportunities for studying exoplanets that are in the habitable zone of their stars. This means that on such planets, there could be water in liquid form, which is a necessary condition for life. And the most astonishing thing? We still don't know how many such water clouds may be hidden in other constellations, waiting to be discovered, full of mysteries and possibilities for new discoveries. At the heart of our galaxy, the Milky Way, lies a supermassive black hole known as Sagittarius A star, with a mass 4 million times greater than that of our Sun. Imagine an object so massive that its gravitational field can hold an entire cluster of stars orbiting it at tremendous speeds. Located approximately 2,600 light-years away from us, Sagittarius A star is the center of gravitational influence that dictates the movement of stars in its vicinity. But what is truly astonishing is that if this black hole were in the place of our Sun, it would swallow the entire solar system in mere minutes. Research conducted using the Event Horizon Telescope has shown that the black hole is surrounded by an accretion disk composed of hot gas and dust, rotating around it at speeds up to 7% the speed of light. Now, imagine standing on the edge of this disk. Around you would be cosmic vortices, and the temperature would reach 1,000,000 degrees Celsius. How is this possible? All this heat is released due to the incredible friction as the material in the disk compresses and compresses, eventually transforming into X-ray radiation that we can observe from Earth. But there's more. Not only is Sagittarius A a black hole, it is also a subject of study for physicists, as its behavior helps scientists understand the fundamental laws governing gravity and space-time. For instance, just recently, astronomers discovered that stars orbiting Sagittarius A star follow trajectories that confirm Einstein's theory of relativity. Furthermore, in 2020, observations revealed that in the vicinity of the black hole, there are high-energy particle jets that can reach distances exceeding 100,000 light-years. Moreover, these jets interact with the interstellar medium, creating remarkable cosmic structures that we can observe in different parts of the galaxy. If you thought this was all, you are mistaken. Scientists are still studying how Sagittarius A star influences the formation of new stars and planets in its gravitational sphere. Scientists believe that in the future, we may learn even more about how such black holes can influence the evolution of entire galaxies. And the most intriguing part? As soon as scientists unravel the secrets of Sagittarius A star, it could change our understanding of the very nature of black holes. The spacecraft Voyager 1 became the first human-made object to leave the confines of our solar system, traveling over 20 billion kilometers. Imagine this. Since its launch in 1977, it has been traveling at a speed of over 60,000 kilometers per hour. This means that Voyager 1 can circle the Earth in less than 2 hours. But that's not the most astonishing part. On board the spacecraft, there is a golden record containing sounds and images that represent the culture and diversity of life on our planet. Over 160 different sounds are recorded, including music, greetings in various languages, and even natural sounds like the sound of the ocean and birdsong. Now, imagine that this message might one day be found by other civilizations. But here's what's truly shocking. Voyager 1 continues to send signals, and its latest data show that it is still studying the interstellar medium, where the cosmic pressure is 300 times lower than on Earth. This means that Voyager 1 has been working for over 45 years. And here's where it gets really extraordinary. Its energy is running out, and it is expected to continue operating until around the year 2030, when its thermonuclear batteries will finally be depleted. But even after that, Voyager 1 will continue its journey into the vastness of space, becoming the most distant human-made object ever to exist. Did you know that Voyager 1 also discovered the most distant and coldest regions of interstellar space, where temperatures drop to minus 260 degrees Celsius? This is a place where entirely new forms of matter and energy could potentially exist. Each new signal received on Earth opens up new horizons of understanding our place in the universe, and this journey continues. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, hides from us between 100 and 400 billion stars. Imagine that. This number is so vast that if you tried to count each star, it would take more time than humanity has existed. Every day, new stars appear in the night sky, while others grow old and fade away like embers in the night. But that's not all. When we look at the stars, we're not just seeing the light they emit. We're peering into the past, because the light from some stars can travel millions of years before reaching our eyes. Now imagine this. There are approximately 2 trillion galaxies in the universe. This number sounds like something out of science fiction, but it's based on data collected by powerful telescopes like the Hubble. Each of these galaxies can contain hundreds of billions of stars, and together they form a wondrous cosmic ocean. But wait, there's more. Many of these galaxies are so far apart that their light takes billions of years to reach us, meaning we see them as they were when they were much younger. How is this possible? It's because space itself is expanding, and stars can disappear long before their light reaches us. Can you imagine how many mysteries and wonders are hidden in these distant corners of the cosmos? For example, some galaxies might contain exoplanets where life could develop in ways completely different from Earth. And here's something even more astonishing. Scientists suggest that each galaxy could contain black holes with masses greater than that of millions of stars combined. These enigmatic objects pull everything in their path, and studying them could open new horizons in our understanding of the universe. Unlike stars, we can't see black holes directly, but we can observe their effects on surrounding space. Picture this: being on a planet orbiting a star in a galaxy that's billions of light years away, knowing that it might contain other forms of life looking up at the sky with the same questions we have. But this is not the end of the story. Scientists propose that our universe might be just one of many, opening doors to even more incredible possibilities. The Hubble Space Telescope has been a true revolution in astronomy, and its achievements are simply astonishing. In 30 years of operation, it has made over 1,400,000 observations. This means that every few minutes, the telescope captures a new frame from the boundless cosmos, allowing scientists to peer into corners of the universe that were previously only a dream. Imagine this: each observation is not just a photograph, but a whole story revealing the secrets of galaxies, star clusters, and exoplanets. And that's not all. Hubble has transmitted around 150 terabytes of data to Earth, equivalent to storing more than 100 million high-resolution photographs. These data allow astronomers to conduct analyses that were previously impossible and make discoveries that change our understanding of the universe. For example, thanks to Hubble, we learned that the expansion of the universe is happening faster than previously thought, leading to a re-evaluation of many cosmological theories. But that's not the most fascinating part. Hubble has made it possible to observe black holes at the centers of galaxies, and its data have helped determine their mass with unprecedented accuracy. You won't believe this, but this information has helped scientists understand how black holes influence the formation of galaxies. And what's even more astonishing, Hubble has discovered more than 8,000 new exoplanets, giving us hope for the discovery of life beyond Earth. These discoveries inspire not only scientists, but entire generations dreaming of space travel and new worlds. And the most exciting part? Hubble continues to operate, and its mission is far from over, as there are still new mysteries waiting to be revealed. Imagine a universe with a diameter of approximately 93 billion light-years, yet it is only 13 and 8/10 billion years old. How is this possible? The paradox of space expansion. The universe does not simply grow, space itself expands. This means that when we look at distant galaxies, we see them as if they were in the past, but in reality, they are far away from us, and the distance between them is increasing. When light from these galaxies reaches us, it travels vast distances, and during this time, the galaxies themselves move further away from us. For example, a galaxy 30 million light-years away today might be more than 100 million light-years away, as the space between us and it continues to expand. This phenomenon is explained by the cosmological redshift effect. Light emitted by an object stretches as the object moves away from us, making it more red. But that's not all. There are regions beyond our observable universe, with sizes exceeding 93 billion light-years. These regions are inaccessible to observation because their light has not yet reached us. As a result, we see only a small part of the entire universe, and the further we look, the more we realize that the boundaries of our understanding are constantly changing. Scientific models show that at the beginning of its existence, the universe was concentrated in a point with a size of 0, and since the Big Bang, it has been rapidly expanding. It is interesting that the further objects are from us, the faster they move away, which confirms Hubble's law, stating that the speed of a galaxy's recession is proportional to its distance from us. But how does this relate to what we can observe? The secret lies in the fact that light waves traveling to us from distant corners of the cosmos lose energy, which changes their wavelength. Currently, scientists understand that the universe continues to expand, and this expansion is accelerating due to a mysterious form of energy known as dark energy. Dark energy makes up approximately 76% of all energy in the universe, and its nature remains one of the greatest mysteries in astrophysics. And the most astonishing thing? This expansion of space does not stop, and perhaps in billions of years, we will see a completely different universe where many of the galaxies we know today will be inaccessible for observation. When astronomers first looked at the Sloan Great Wall, they were struck by its sheer size. This structure is 37 million light-years long. This makes it one of the largest known objects in the universe, and it contains thousands of galaxies spread across vast space. Imagine that each of these galaxies could have billions of stars, and you begin to grasp the incredible scale of this structure. But that's not all. The Sloan Great Wall is part of what is known as the Great Atlas, which helps astronomers understand how matter is distributed in our cosmos. Studies show that this structure is not just a random cluster of galaxies. It is formed under the influence of gravitational interactions, making it a key object for studying cosmological structure. Did you know that this wall was discovered in 2001 thanks to data collected by the Sloan Digital Sky Survey? Now imagine that this is not the only structure of such magnitude. There are many similar objects in the cosmos, and some of them may be even more colossal. Studies show that galaxies within the Sloan Great Wall move at incredible speeds, and this movement may be related to how gravity affects their positioning. For instance, galaxies in this structure can be influenced by neighboring clusters, creating a sort of gravitational dance. But there's more. Sometimes the distance between these galaxies exceeds 30 million light-years. Consider what it would be like to be that far away from other objects, yet still part of such a massive construction. Research continues, and with each new discovery, it becomes clearer that the cosmos is full of mysteries waiting to be unraveled. After all, even one galaxy from this wall could contain billions of planets, raising questions about the possibility of life beyond Earth. And the most intriguing question remains: what else is hidden in the cosmos that we have yet to see? Did you know what happens on exoplanets called hot Jupiters? On these giant worlds that are so close to their stars that the temperature exceeds 2,000 degrees Celsius, it rains liquid glass and iron. Imagine drops of molten glass falling from the sky, as if you were in some kind of science fiction movie. But that's not all. The winds on such planets can reach speeds of 5,000 to 7,000 kilometers per hour, which is equivalent to the speed of sound in Earth's atmosphere. How can such winds exist? It's because the atmosphere of hot Jupiters consists of hydrogen and helium, which, when heated to extreme temperatures, create powerful and fast air currents. Now imagine this. On a planet with such an atmosphere, temperatures can vary from -30 to +2,000 degrees, depending on which side is facing the star. This means that one side of the planet can be so hot that ice simply evaporates, while the other side can be frozen like in an Arctic desert. And what's even more astonishing? On such planets, there can be storms where lightning strikes with a force many times greater than on Earth. This happens due to strong convection in the atmosphere, where hot air rises and cold air sinks, creating incredible electrical fields. Do you think it's possible that life could exist in such a harsh environment? Scientists suggest that on such exoplanets, there could be microorganisms that have adapted to these extreme conditions. But this is just speculation, based on our understanding of life. For now, we can only observe these distant worlds with powerful telescopes like Kepler and James Webb, which are opening new horizons in astronomy. And what's truly amazing Scientists have already discovered more than 200 such exoplanets, and this number continues to grow. Each new hot Jupiter discovered adds more mysteries to our picture of the universe. At the center of some galaxies lie quasars, which are the brightest objects in the universe. Imagine that the luminosity of one quasar can exceed the luminosity of 1 trillion stars, making them incredibly powerful sources of energy. These distant objects emit light and other forms of radiation, including X-rays, sometimes reaching levels of intensity that are impossible to imagine. It is interesting that quasars produce their luminosity through the accretion of matter onto supergiant black holes, which can have masses in the millions and billions of solar masses. When gas and dust fall into the black hole, they heat up to extreme temperatures, causing the brightest glow. Did you know that quasars can be located at distances of up to 20 billion light-years from us? This means that we see their light as it was billions of years ago, when the universe was much younger. Quasars are most often discovered through their radio wave emission, which can be millions of times more powerful than that of ordinary galaxies. But this is not the strangest thing. Quasars can change over time, sometimes disappearing from the view of astronomers for entire decades, and then reappearing, as if they are hiding from us in the vast expanse of the cosmos. Imagine that in one of these quasars there is a black hole that is swallowing material at an incredible speed, creating powerful jets of plasma that are ejected into space. These jets, known as jets, can extend for millions of light-years, disrupting the structure of the surrounding galaxy. The most fascinating thing about quasars is that they can help us understand the evolution of galaxies and the nature of dark matter. For example, by studying their distribution in the cosmos, astronomers can determine how galaxies formed over billions of years. But the surprises do not end there. It turns out that some quasars can be associated with powerful energy outbursts that can affect stars and planets in their galaxy. How is this possible? The reason is that their incredible energy can accelerate gas and dust, preventing the formation of new stars. It is interesting that in our galaxy, the Milky Way, there is a black hole, but it is not as active as quasars, so we do not see its glow. But what if it ever wakes up and starts to consume surrounding matter? This possibility leaves us in suspense, because there is so much unknown in the cosmos. On Mars stands the highest mountain in the solar system, the volcano Olympus, which reaches a height of 21 kilometers 900 meters. This is 2.5 times higher than Mount Everest, the highest point on Earth. But that's not all. The base of Olympus spans an area larger than the state of Arizona. Imagine a mighty mountain rising against the backdrop of the red planet, its peak capped with ice, and its slopes marked by the traces of ancient lava flows. Olympus is not just a volcano. It is a colossal structure formed by countless eruptions over millions of years. And what's even more astonishing? On its summit lies a crater with a diameter of about 19 kilometers, which could contain several football fields. Scientists believe that Olympus could have formed due to the unusually low gravity on Mars, which is only 40% of Earth's, allowing such massive structures to form. But there's more. The volcano has very gentle slopes, with an incline of no more than 10 degrees, making it resemble a giant cone. Additionally, in its vicinity, remnants of ancient glaciers have been found, indicating that liquid water once existed on Mars. Imagine, in the past, this volcano could have erupted lava that flowed down its slopes, creating landscapes that we can only speculate about. Moreover, Olympus is surrounded by a system of canyons, some of which are over 4,000 kilometers long, almost as if you could cross all of Europe. If you think of Mars as just a barren planet, think again. Beneath its red dust lie mysteries waiting to be discovered. Scientists continue to study how such colossal structures formed and what processes occurred on the planet billions of years ago. And what's remarkable? Scientific missions like the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter continue to transmit data on the volcanic activity and geology of the planet, revealing new horizons. Scientific research suggests that Olympus could have been active relatively recently, just a few million years ago. So, perhaps, in the depths of Mars, there are still volcanic secrets that could change our understanding of planets. In the cosmos, there is complete silence, and this is not just a metaphor. Sound, as we know it, cannot exist in a vacuum. Imagine being in a void where there is no air to transmit sound waves. However, what is astonishing is that in this same silent space, there are electromagnetic oscillations that can be converted into sounds. For instance, NASA uses technologies that allow data from spacecraft to be converted into sound waves that we can hear. The sounds generated by these oscillations can be used to study various celestial objects. Did you know that the sounds we hear from space are actually the result of analyzing data collected with radio telescopes? Once, scientists converted radio signals from the planet Jupiter into melodies that sound like something between classical music and electronic sounds. This happens because Jupiter emits powerful radio waves that can be interpreted as various sound frequencies. But that's not all. Even black holes have their sounds. When matter is pulled into a black hole, it emits X-rays that can be converted into sound waves. The frequency of these waves can vary from very low to quite high. Now imagine that the background noise of the universe consists of sounds that we will never be able to hear, but which have already been recorded and are waiting for their moment. Researchers at NASA have even created what is known as the sound landscape of the cosmos, which includes various sounds from planets, stars, and other celestial bodies. For example, the sound wave created by the interaction between Earth and the solar wind sounds like a soothing whisper. And of course, we cannot forget that our own moon also makes sounds, only in the form of electromagnetic waves that can be converted into audio format. The most amazing thing is that these sounds can tell us about interactions in the cosmos that are happening millions of light years away. Each new signal that scientists receive adds another layer of mystery to our cosmos, allowing us to peer into its secrets that await discovery. In the cosmos, there exist planets that challenge all our notions about planet formation. These are known as hot Jupiters. Imagine gas giants orbiting their stars at distances several times closer than Mercury's orbit around the Sun. While astronomers believed such planets should form at significant distances from their stars, as high temperatures near the star would destroy gas clouds, the facts suggest otherwise. The most famous example is the planet WASP 121b, which is not just hot but scorching, with temperatures exceeding 1,200 degrees Celsius. Now imagine, this planet not only orbits very close to its star, but also does so in a retrograde motion, moving in the opposite direction to the rotation of the star. The discovery of such phenomena raises numerous questions. How did the planet reach such an orbit? How did it maintain its mass and structure despite the extreme conditions? What's even more astonishing? Some of these hot Jupiters have atmospheres composed of metals, iron and magnesium, that exist in a gaseous state due to the high temperatures. This discovery makes us question the processes that might have occurred in these systems. For instance, the study of the planet HD 209458b revealed that winds in its atmosphere can reach speeds of up to 700 kilometers per hour, faster than any hurricane on Earth. But that's not all. Some astronomers suggest that hot Jupiters could act as bombarders, carrying large asteroids into their systems, leading to the formation of new planets. Moreover, planets like WASP 18b have orbits so short that they complete a full revolution around their star in just one Earth day. This means that in their atmospheres, there are genuine catastrophes caused by colossal temperature fluctuations and powerful atmospheric phenomena. Research shows that such planets can disintegrate, losing mass and altering their orbits, which challenges all known theories about planetary evolution. And now, imagine that each new discovery opens doors to worlds we never even suspected, worlds where the laws of physics might operate entirely differently. As an object approaches a black hole, it is subjected to an incredible force of gravity that can stretch it beyond recognition. This effect, known as cosmic spaghetti, occurs due to the difference in gravitational attraction between the nearest and farthest parts of the object. Imagine standing at the edge of a black hole and pulling a string that gradually becomes longer and thinner. If the object, for example, a star, has a mass of several solar masses, its stretching can be so strong that it turns into a long thread of matter, resembling spaghetti. Studies show that the force acting on the object can be up to 36 times greater than the force acting on its opposite side. This happens because the gravity of the black hole significantly increases at short distances, creating an effect that can even destroy the strongest structures. In 2018, scientists from Harvard University conducted simulations showing that objects like stars can be stretched to lengths of several million kilometers. This means that an object initially the size of a planet can turn into a thread whose length is comparable to the distance from Earth to Jupiter. But that's not all. When the object finally crosses the event horizon, a so-called singularity forms, where the laws of physics cease to apply and gravity becomes infinite. Some physicists claim that at this moment, all information about the state of the object may be lost, raising questions about the very nature of reality. The most shocking thing? This effect can be observed not only in theory, but also in practice. Astronomers have already recorded cases where stars, upon falling into black holes, emitted powerful gamma-ray bursts that can be seen over billions of light years. Pulsars are not just neutron stars, but true cosmic clocks capable of astonishing precision. Some of them rotate so quickly that their rotation period is just a few milliseconds. Imagine a star completing several rotations around its axis in this short span of time, emitting radio waves in two opposite directions, like lighthouses. These radio waves can be detected on Earth, and their regular arrival allows astronomers to precisely measure time, creating truly unique research tools. The most remarkable aspect is that pulsars can maintain their stability for millions of years, making them ideal for studying the curvature of space-time and gravitational waves. Did you know that with the help of pulsars, scientists have been able to confirm Albert Einstein's theory of relativity? The pulsar PSRB 1937 plus 21, discovered in 1982, rotates with a period of just 42 milliseconds, making it one of the fastest pulsars known to science. For comparison, this is 300 times faster than the Earth's rotation around its axis. These stars form as a result of the collapse of massive stars, and their density is such that 1 teaspoon of pulsar material weighs around 100 million tons. How can they be so stable and powerful? The answer lies in their incredible gravitational force, which leads to the formation of extreme magnetic fields that enhance their radiation. When a pulsar is in a binary system with another star, it can capture material from its companion, leading to the formation of an accretion disk and additional radiation. It's fascinating that scientists use pulsars not only for studying the cosmos, but also for searching for potential exoplanets, as their gravitational influence can cause changes in rotation periods. If you think this is incredible, consider that pulsars can serve as navigation systems for interstellar travel, allowing sharp-eyed cosmic explorers to determine their location with unprecedented accuracy. There are even ideas about how to use them to create a network of cosmic clocks that could synchronize over vast distances. And now, the craziest part. Some pulsars can be part of more complex systems, such as being paired with black holes, making their observation even more captivating. Are there pulsars in our galaxy that could open new horizons for studying dark matter and dark energy? Gamma-ray bursts, GRBs, are something that even the most seasoned astronomers hold their breath for. Imagine an explosion that releases more energy in just 1 second than our sun does over its entire lifespan of about 10 billion years. These extraordinary events occur at distances measured in billions of light years, and their power is simply beyond comprehension. The most fascinating thing is that gamma-ray bursts can be the result of the collapse of a massive star into a black hole or the merger of neutron stars, both of which trigger catastrophic processes that create particle streams moving close to the speed of light. One of the most famous gamma-ray bursts, GRB 2011, was located about 30 billion light-years away from Earth. It released so much light that astronomers felt they were witnessing a real cosmic fireworks display. But that's not all. Gamma-ray bursts are so bright that they can be detected even with simple telescopes, and they can outshine entire galaxies. A staggering 30% of gamma-ray bursts have properties that make them impossible to predict, making them a true mystery for scientists. And what's even more shocking, scientists believe that gamma-ray bursts may be linked to the formation of new stars and even the spread of life. When a burst occurs, it can eject a tremendous amount of heavy elements, such as gold and platinum, into space, which then become part of new stars and planets. So, how many gamma-ray bursts occur in our sky each year? Estimates suggest their number ranges from 100 to 200. Each time we see one of them, it's as if we are peering into the very essence of the universe, its most powerful and mysterious phenomena. Now imagine that these bursts can last only a few milliseconds, but their effects are felt over billions of light-years. It's as if a single moment could change an entire galaxy. And the most incredible thing is that gamma-ray bursts can produce X-ray and ultraviolet radiation, which can then travel through space and reach our planet. This means that we are all witnesses to these cosmic catastrophes, even if we don't realize it. Each gamma-ray burst is not just an explosion. It's a whole story about the birth and death of stars, about beginnings and endings, about how the universe continues to create and destroy. In the cosmos, where absolute darkness and cold reign, molecules of alcohol, including ethanol, have been found in vast clouds of gas from which stars are born. Imagine this. In these clouds, stretching over millions of light-years, chemical magic is at work, where carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen combine to form complex molecules that could serve as the foundation for life. In one such cloud, known as the Orion Cloud, astronomers discovered ethanol in quantities sufficient to astound even the most skeptical scientists. These molecules exist in the form of ice crystals that form on dust particles scattered throughout the cosmos, and their temperature can drop to -260 degrees Celsius. But that's not all. In some cases, the concentration of ethanol can reach 30% of the total composition of these ice particles. Imagine that. It's as if there are countless cosmic bars in the universe where alcohol is found everywhere. Remarkably, scientists assert that such molecules could play a crucial role in planet formation and perhaps even in the origin of life. How? When stars begin to form, they heat the surrounding gas and dust, and these molecules can evaporate, creating conditions for further chemical reactions. In one of the largest clouds, known as G34.3, more than 10 different organic molecules were found, raising the question, could life exist beyond Earth? And not just any life, but life that could use alcohol as one of its building blocks. Research in this area continues, and scientists plan to launch new telescopes, such as the James Webb, which will allow us to peer even deeper into the mysteries of cosmic clouds. Imagine being able to see the molecules that were the basis for the creation of planets, and we are just a few steps away from understanding how life could have originated on other worlds. But wait, there's more. In some cases, astronomers even find traces of amino acids, which are the building blocks of proteins. This raises the question of how these complex molecules could have ended up in the cosmos. Perhaps they formed as a result of chemical reactions in the clouds, or were brought by comets that collided with young planets. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, as recent research suggests that there may be many more chemical compounds in the universe that we can barely imagine. On Jupiter, polar auroras are breathtaking in their scale and brightness, being hundreds of times more powerful than those observed on Earth. Remarkably, the energy required for their formation primarily comes from Jupiter's incredibly strong magnetic field, which is 13 times stronger than Earth's. This magnetic field creates unique conditions, allowing solar wind particles to interact with Jupiter's atmosphere, resulting in luminosity that can be seen from millions of kilometers away. But that's not the most astonishing part. Polar auroras can occur at the equator on Jupiter, unlike on Earth where they are only observed in polar regions. Now, imagine scientists studying this phenomenon using satellites that can capture these flashes in ultraviolet and infrared wavelengths. The most famous of these satellites, Juno, was launched in 2016 and continues to transmit stunning images and data that help us understand how these colossal light shows work. Saturn also exhibits polar auroras, which are no less impressive. Bright bands of light created by the interaction of solar wind with the planet's atmosphere can reach heights of thousands of kilometers, creating scenes that take your breath away. On Uranus and Neptune, polar auroras are even more mysterious, as these planets have tilted axes of rotation, leading to unpredictable and unusual patterns of luminosity. The most remarkable thing is that polar auroras on other planets can serve not only as a beautiful spectacle, but also as important indicators of the state of the atmosphere and magnetic fields of these giants. However, when we talk about polar auroras, we cannot forget that there is another interesting aspect. On some exoplanets outside our solar system, similar processes may also occur, and scientists are already developing methods to detect them. In space, there are regions that can be confidently called star nurseries, places where new stars are born from dense gas clouds. For example, the Eagle Nebula is one of the most famous such areas, and its dimensions are truly impressive. It stretches over 36 light-years and is located approximately 2,500 light-years away from Earth. But the most astonishing thing is what happens inside these clouds. Complex gravitational processes cause gas and dust particles to compress, forming dense cores that will eventually become stars. Imagine this. A giant gas clump gradually compresses, reaching temperatures of several million degrees Celsius. And when this core becomes hot enough, a thermonuclear reaction begins, and the star starts to shine. But this is just the beginning. Around the newborn star, a disk of gas and dust forms, which usually serves as a cradle for forming planets. These disks can be up to 100 astronomical units in diameter, which is twice the distance from the Sun to Neptune. And now, imagine that life can arise in such disks. How does this happen? It depends on many factors, including the chemical composition and distance from the star. But what is even more astonishing? In the Eagle Nebula, there are stars that are 10 times more massive than our Sun. These stars end their lives in catastrophic supernova explosions, resulting in the formation of heavy elements such as gold and uranium. These elements then spread throughout the cosmos and can become part of new planets. And now, the most interesting part. In the Eagle Nebula, protostars have been discovered that are in the process of formation and could become new solar systems in the future. And this is not just the dreams of astronomers. It is real facts, confirmed by observations with telescopes like the Hubble. Can you imagine? In space, there is an endless struggle and creation of new stars that will illuminate the sky of our galaxy for millions of years. And what is truly fascinating, in our observations, we can see that over the past 30 years, dozens of new stars have formed in the Eagle Nebula. This means that the cosmos is full of life that we are just beginning to understand. In space, there are objects that leave astronomers awestruck. Blazars. Imagine quasars, which are among the brightest and most active objects in the universe, but with one crucial difference. Their jets, outbursts of matter, are directed straight at Earth. What does this mean? These powerful particle streams travel at nearly the speed of light and can be so bright that their light outshines the light of billions of stars in our galaxy. What's even more astonishing? Blazars can be billions of light-years away from us, yet their radiation still reaches Earth, and we can observe it. Currently, dozens of blazars are known, and their study opens windows into the deepest and most mysterious corners of the cosmos. For example, one of the most famous blazars, known as BL Lacertae, is located about 15 million light-years away and exhibits interesting changes in its radiation, which astronomers attribute to the activity of its central black hole. But this is just the beginning. When a blazar's jet is pointed towards us, it can trigger powerful bursts of gamma radiation that we detect on Earth. Such bursts can be millions of times brighter than the entire light output of our galaxy. Doesn't this seem like madness? What's most fascinating is that these objects can change their radiation dramatically, even within hours, presenting significant challenges for scientists in studying their behavior. Blazars can act as beacons, helping us study not only the nature of black holes, but also the very structure of the universe. For instance, with their help, astronomers can estimate the distribution of dark matter and study the formation of galaxies. But that's not all. There are blazars that show strange fluctuations in their jets, and scientists suspect that this could be related to interactions with neighboring galaxies or effects that we don't yet fully understand. And the most exciting part? These studies could provide us with the key to solving cosmic mysteries, including questions about the nature of time and space. Each new blazar we discover gives us a glimpse into the future of our universe, and who knows what else we might learn when we look up at the sky. Every day, approximately 100 tons of cosmic material in the form of meteor dust falls onto our planet. Have you ever considered that this is equivalent to the weight of 30 cars? These microscopic particles, no larger than a few millimeters in diameter, come to us from the vast expanses of the solar system, and their quantity is simply astonishing. Over millions of years, Earth has accumulated these cosmic souvenirs, and each year, up to 30,000 tons of meteor material settle on its surface. But this is not the most amazing part. Most of it burns up in the atmosphere, transforming into bright meteors that we observe as falling stars. However, even those that reach the surface have remarkable properties that can change our understanding of the universe. For example, meteorites found in Antarctica contain rare minerals and even organic compounds that may hold the key to understanding the origin of life on Earth. Imagine, some of these could have formed in the interiors of asteroids that existed billions of years ago and traveled incredible distances through space. But that's not all. Scientists have discovered meteorites composed of materials that do not exist on Earth, which supports the theory of numerous planetary systems capable of supporting life. But there's more. In recent research, scientists have found that some meteorites contain isotopes that could be remnants of ancient forms of life that existed in other parts of the universe. If you thought that was amazing, wait for this. Researchers have discovered that meteorites can carry secrets about the climate and atmosphere of the planets they came from. Compare this to how we study Earth's atmosphere to understand its history. It's important to understand that each particle of meteorite is not just cosmic debris. It is a message from the distant past that can tell us about the formation of our solar system. For example, the Holbrook meteorite from the United States, which fell in 1898, was full of iron and nickel, indicating its origin from the core of a planetoid. Scientific research shows that these cosmic bodies may even contain water, which may have once been part of planets like Earth. And finally, know that every minute, approximately 30 grams of meteor dust falls on us, and this is just a part of the incredible cosmic story that continues right above our heads. Dark matter. Have you ever wondered that a significant portion of our universe is invisible? Approximately 27% of the universe is composed of this mysterious substance that we cannot see directly. All we know about dark matter comes from its gravitational effects on visible matter, stars, galaxies, and even light. For example, if you look at a galaxy surrounded by other galaxies, you'll notice that their motion doesn't align with what would be expected from ordinary matter. It's as if you saw a planet moving faster than it should, as if an invisible hand were pushing it. But wait, there's more. Dark matter does not emit or absorb light, which is why we can't detect it with ordinary telescopes. Imagine you're in a dark room with many objects, but you can only see them because of how they interact with light. This is similar to how scientists study dark matter. They observe the motion of galaxies and the bending of light to understand what lies hidden in the cosmos. If you thought this was just a theoretical concept, consider this. In 2012, astronomers discovered that dark matter influences the distribution of galaxies on a large scale. This discovery forced scientists to rethink their understanding of the universe's structure. But here's something even more fascinating. Dark matter can have a mass comparable to that of ordinary visible matter, but it is spread throughout the universe like sugar in a cup of tea. This means we are surrounded by a sea of dark matter, and perhaps it is this invisible web that holds galaxies together. If you thought that was all, here's another intriguing point. Some scientists suggest that dark matter may interact with ordinary matter through unknown forces. What if, in the future, we find a way to detect this dark matter and understand what it is made of? Scientific research continues, and scientists worldwide are working on creating detectors that can reveal these mysterious particles. In 2020, the Pandora project was launched, aimed at studying dark matter using new technologies. But here's the question: what if dark matter holds the keys to unraveling the mysteries of the universe? There's a hypothesis that dark matter might be connected to dark energy, which makes up another 73% of the universe. It's this dark energy that causes the accelerated expansion of the universe. And if you thought this was too complex to understand, think again. Perhaps dark matter and dark energy are the main players in the game called cosmos. After all, we are only scratching the surface of understanding this mysterious substance, and each new discovery could revolutionize our understanding of the universe. In our solar system, there is an astonishing place that few of us truly understand: the Kuiper Belt. This region lies beyond the orbit of Neptune and extends more than 30 astronomical units from the Sun, making it one of the most distant and mysterious parts of our stellar system. Imagine a space filled with thousands of icy objects, where temperatures can drop to -400 degrees Celsius. Did you know that Pluto, now known as a dwarf planet, resides here? Its diameter is 232 kilometers, and it is not alone. More than 13,000 objects have been discovered in the Kuiper Belt, many of which have their own moons. But that's not all. Some of these objects, like Eris, can even be larger than Pluto, and they possess unique characteristics. For instance, Eris has a diameter of about 240 kilometers and contains water ice, making it potentially interesting for future research. Now, imagine that many of these icy bodies are remnants of the primary materials that formed our planet and have been exceptionally well preserved in the extreme cold. Picture scientists using modern technologies to analyze these objects, gaining insights into how our solar system evolved. For example, the New Horizons mission in 2015 flew by Pluto, transmitting incredible images and data about its surface, which was found to be covered in complex ice formations. Isn't it fascinating? The Kuiper Belt is not just home to icy bodies, but also to planetary pioneers like Haumea and Makemake, which have unusual shapes and even rings. And here is where things get really interesting. There are theories that the Kuiper Belt may contain hidden planets that have not yet been discovered. Scientists hypothesize the existence of a ninth planet that could be lurking in these remote corners, leaving behind mysterious orbits. And surprisingly, these hypothetical objects could have masses many times greater than that of Earth. This opens up a whole world of new questions. What else can we find in the Kuiper Belt? What are its boundaries and mysteries? Each new object discovered adds a new chapter to the history of our solar system, and this journey is just beginning, as there are discoveries ahead that could change our understanding of the cosmos. Among the multitude of planets orbiting other stars, there exists a remarkable category known as hot Neptunes. These planets resemble Neptune, but are so close to their stars that their surfaces can heat up to incredible thousands of degrees Celsius. Imagine a world where the temperature reaches 1,000 degrees, and the atmosphere is filled with dense clouds of steam and various gases, much like Jupiter's atmosphere. Moreover, hot Neptunes can have atmospheres composed of hydrogen, helium, and even methane, creating conditions that are completely alien to our experience. But that's not all. In some cases, scientists have discovered that these planets can form clouds of aluminum and silicates, making them even more unusual. Did you know that some of these planets can have a mass 10 times greater than Earth's, yet maintain sizes comparable to Neptune? This makes them incredibly dense, and thus they can exert a strong influence on their surroundings. But how can such planets exist in conditions where the surface temperature can exceed 1,000 degrees? The answer lies in their proximity to stars. The closer a planet is to its star, the more intense the radiation and heat it receives. This often results in hot Neptunes lacking a solid surface, and their atmospheres can be so thin that at a height of just a few kilometers, the pressure can be significantly lower than what we are accustomed to on Earth. And here's where things get truly extraordinary. Some of these planets can have winds so strong that their speeds can reach 180 kilometers per hour, which is twice the speed of the most powerful hurricanes on our planet. Now imagine that on such planets, incredible atmospheric phenomena can occur, similar to lightning, which can be 10 times more powerful than what we see on Earth. What else does the cosmos hold in store? In 2020, astronomers discovered a hot Neptune that orbits its star in just 8.5 hours, making it one of the fastest known exoplanets. On Saturn's northern pole, there exists a hexagonal storm with a diameter of 25,000 kilometers. This means it is larger than the entire territory of Russia. It's no wonder that this storm attracts the attention of scientists worldwide. Its structure is as mysterious as the planet itself. It was first observed in 1980 by the Voyager spacecraft, and since then, meteorologists have discovered that this storm is not just static, but constantly changing. And here's the most interesting part. The hexagonal shape of the storm has been maintained for decades, which is quite unusual for atmospheric phenomena in our solar system. Imagine what such a storm would look like from Earth. A perfect hexagon outlined against yellow and brown clouds, like a giant mosaic created by nature itself. But that's not all. The wind speed in the center of the storm reaches 250 kilometers per hour, comparable to hurricanes on Earth, but with much more impressive geometry. Scientists hypothesize that the cause of such stability in the storms may be the unique atmospheric conditions on Saturn, where temperatures can fluctuate from -88 to -130 degrees Celsius. This creates ideal conditions for the formation and maintenance of such unusual atmospheric structures. But here's what's even more astonishing. Within this hexagon, there are powerful vortices that can reach heights of up to 9 kilometers, and their behavior is still a subject of discussion and research. Scientists suggest that the hexagon may be related to complex atmospheric movements that we do not fully understand. One hypothesis states that such an unusual pattern is formed due to the interaction of various layers of the atmosphere moving at different speeds. This phenomenon has no analogues on Earth, and its study may open new horizons in our understanding of meteorology. And here's the puzzle. How long will this storm maintain its shape? Each year it seems to change, but so far, all indications point to the fact that the hexagon will continue to amaze us with its existence. The Cassini spacecraft provided a wealth of data on the storm, which scientists are still analyzing, and this gives hope that we will be able to unravel its mysteries in the future. But here's what's most shocking. This storm may just be the tip of the iceberg, and in other parts of Saturn, there may be even more amazing atmospheric phenomena that we are not even aware of. Planet HD 189733b is not just any exoplanet, but a true natural laboratory where phenomena occur that are hard to even imagine. At temperatures around 1,000 degrees Celsius, rain here consists of tiny glass shards that literally fall from the sky. Imagine this. On a planet located about 40 light-years from Earth, winds can reach speeds of 8,700 kilometers per hour. This speed, for example, is comparable to that of a spacecraft and can sweep everything in its path. But why such strange and harsh conditions? The answer lies in the atmosphere of this planet, which is mostly composed of hydrogen and helium, but also contains trace amounts of other gases, such as methane. And now, the most shocking part. Imagine that on the surface of HD 189733b, there is rain of glass droplets that form as a result of complex chemical reactions at high temperatures. These droplets fall at a speed equal to the wind speed and pose a real danger to all life. Could life exist on such a planet? This is a question that scientists are increasingly interested in. Scientific research shows that due to extreme conditions such as strong winds and high temperatures, there is a possibility that unusual forms of life could arise, adapted to such conditions. But that's not all. Due to the high pressure and temperature on the planet, processes can occur that would be impossible under other conditions. For example, the formation of liquid glass. Scientists from different countries are studying HD 189733b to understand how such atmospheres form and what chemical reactions occur in such extreme conditions. And you know what's most amazing? Each new day reveals new mysteries of this planet, and every detail can lead to unexpected discoveries in the fields of astronomy and astrophysics. Dark energy. This mysterious component of the universe makes up approximately 68% of its total volume, and it is this energy that causes the cosmos to expand at an accelerating rate. Imagine this. While we observe stars and galaxies, the overwhelming majority of matter and energy remains invisible to our eyes. This expansion was first noticed by astronomers at the turn of the 20th century, when research showed that distant galaxies were receding from us faster than expected. But here's the most shocking part. This acceleration is not slowing down, but rather increasing. How is this possible? Scientific research, such as the work of supernova Edward Hubble, indicates that dark energy acts as an anti-gravitational force, opposing gravity. It's as if the universe has its own accelerator. 80% of this mysterious force may be linked to the Friedmann constant, a theory based on Einstein's equations that describe how space and time interact and react to each other. But there's more. Some scientists propose that dark energy could be a result of quantum fluctuations in the void, creating an effect that we can only imagine. Consider how this could affect our understanding of space and time. And now, imagine that with new technologies, such as the James Webb Space Telescope, we may be able to observe dark energy in more detail than ever before. Perhaps it will open doors to new dimensions and forms of matter that we can't even conceive of. And here's the most intriguing part. Research suggests that dark energy may change over time, raising even more questions about the future of the universe. What is it like to stand on the brink of such discoveries? We are just beginning to realize that dark energy may be the key to unlocking many mysteries that still elude our understanding. On Jupiter, a colossal phenomenon known as the Great Red Spot is raging. It's not just a spot, but a storm that has existed for over 350 years and is larger than many planets. Imagine this. You could fit 3 Earths into this swirling formation, and it would still appear as a tiny speck. The storm rotates at an incredible speed, around 130 kilometers per hour, and its diameter is 92,000 kilometers. For comparison, that's more than the distance from New York to Los Angeles. But what makes this storm so unique? It's not just enormous, it's also incredibly stable. Despite its age and power, it continues to exist, unlike many other atmospheric phenomena that appear and disappear. Around this spot, hurricanes rage, which can be several times larger than those on Earth. Incidentally, did you know that something else about the Great Red Spot is shocking? It has its own atmosphere, where the pressure in the center is much lower than on its periphery. This creates conditions in which winds can reach enormous speeds. Astronomers observing this phenomenon have noticed that over the past decades, the spot has begun to shrink. Scientists suggest that it may disappear in the coming decades, raising many questions. What will happen to Jupiter's atmosphere? How will this affect its climate? But the most astonishing thing is that Jupiter has other storms that could also become this large. On a planet with 4 large moons and numerous rings, how many more mysteries await discovery? With each new study, we inch closer to understanding these giant vortices, but perhaps the true enigmas still lie ahead. One day on a neutron star can last only a few milliseconds, and this is not just an interesting fact, but a genuine astronomical sensation. Imagine these stars rotating at such colossal speeds that they can complete up to 700 revolutions in 1 second. This means that if you could be on the surface of such a star, you would see a sunset and sunrise not in a day, but in an instant. But how is this possible? The reason is that neutron stars form as a result of the collapse of massive stars, and their density is incredible. 1 teaspoon of matter from a neutron star weighs about 100 million tons. These extreme conditions cause the stars to rotate faster than any known celestial bodies. But that's not all. Some neutron stars, known as pulsars, emit powerful radio waves that can be detected on Earth, like signals from a distant radio station. Each of these pulsations can occur with a period of a few milliseconds, making them some of the most accurate clocks in the universe. But that's not all. The rotation of neutron stars creates such strong gravitational fields that time on their surface flows differently than on Earth. The faster the rotation, the more noticeable the effect of time dilation. If you could observe a clock on a neutron star, you would notice that it doesn't run the same way as on our planet. Is there anything even stranger? Yes, there is. Some neutron stars have magnetic fields that are millions of times stronger than Earth's, and this results in their surface being covered with hard crystalline structures made of carbon and iron. These crystals can be the size of a small mountain and create stunning visual effects when radiation passes through them. Now, imagine that on one of these neutron stars, where a day lasts only a few milliseconds, life could exist. What could this mean for us? Scientific research constantly opens new horizons, and each discovery about these stars raises questions that could change our understanding of the cosmos. For example, what would the atmosphere look like if it existed on such a star? Research continues, and perhaps in the future, we will learn even more about these mysterious objects that will astound our imagination. In the constellation of Taurus lies one of the most impressive astronomical structures, the Crab Nebula, a remnant of a supernova explosion that made headlines in the year 1554. Imagine this. Chinese astronomers observed this cosmic spectacle for 23 days, and its brightness was so great that it could be seen even during the day. But that's not all. The explosion that created the Crab Nebula occurred approximately 6,500 light-years away from Earth, and its effects can still be observed today. The Crab Nebula is expanding at a speed of about 1 million kilometers per hour, and if you could be near it, you would see clouds of gas and dust swirling and twisting in the sky, creating a breathtaking sight. But did you know that at the center of this nebula lies a neutron star with a mass 1.5 times that of the Sun, but a diameter of only 6 kilometers? This means that the gravity on its surface is so strong that even atoms are torn apart. The Crab Nebula is not just a beautiful object, it is a laboratory for studying stellar evolution and explosions. Scientists believe that such phenomena as supernovae play a crucial role in distributing heavy elements throughout the universe, which in turn influences the formation of new stars and planets. But there's more. Spectroscopic observations have shown that the nebula contains rare elements such as gold and platinum, which are formed in such catastrophic events. These elements can then be incorporated into new stars and even planets, on which we may one day live. The Crab Nebula continues to captivate astronomers, as its structure and dynamics remain a mystery, requiring deep analysis. For example, in 2006, scientists using the Hubble Space Telescope discovered that the nebula emits unusual X-rays, which have not yet been fully explained. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Research continues, and each new discovery reveals new secrets that could radically change our understanding of stellar explosions and their effects on galaxies. Imagine that such phenomena can not only form elements, but also influence entire star systems. The Crab Nebula is not just a stellar remnant. It is a window into the past, helping us understand how our world is structured and what forces act in the cosmos. According to the theory of inflation, imagine that our universe is just one of many bubbles floating in an infinite ocean of the multiverse. This may sound like a plot from a science fiction novel, but scientists like Alan Guth proposed this idea in the 80s when they began studying how quickly the universe expanded immediately after the Big Bang. And what is truly shocking, if inflation is indeed real, it could create an infinite number of such bubbles, each with its own laws of physics and parameters. Imagine a bubble where gravity is 3 times stronger than in our universe, or another where time flows twice as slowly. How is this possible? The inflationary model suggests that after the initial explosion, space expanded at an incredible speed, creating conditions for the formation of new universes as it cooled and changed physical conditions. But that's not all. Scientists suggest that these bubbles could collide with each other, leading to fascinating events that could result in the formation of new stars and galaxies. And here's another twist. According to some estimates, if we could observe the entire multiverse, we would see that some of these bubbles might even disappear, leaving behind traces in the form of dark energy. What does this mean for us? It means that we live not in a single universe, but in a space full of possibilities where each reality could be completely different from ours. Scientists like Maximilian Kunz claim that we might be in a bubble that has been stable for a long time, while others continue to expand and change nearby. And what is truly astonishing, if this process continues, there might be a possibility of interaction between these bubbles, opening up entirely new horizons for understanding the nature of the universe. But this is just the beginning. Some physicists suggest that if we could find a way to jump from one bubble to another, we would open up completely new horizons for science and technology. How strange this may sound, but in our universe, there might be many versions of ourselves, which raises questions about everything we know about reality. Now imagine that we have the possibility to learn which versions of us exist in other bubbles.